This is the
Unpopular Opinion. We're real,
we're raw,
and we're saying it all. So I feel like for me, I seeing a woman come into her element, and you know, I am my own target audience, you know. And if you've been following me from the beginning, you've probably seen the growth. You know, you've probably seen me go from one level to another, and I'm very proud of it. I'll sit here and I am going to say I'm so proud. I'm not yet at the top. I may never get there. But every year I level up, every year. And what I will say is I am dedicated to helping you. Yeah, I have made it my life's work to help other women, because what I find is that we all have it in us. We just don't know how. And even if we know how, we don't have the courage, which is why my unstoppable boss babes, where y'all at? So it's more about finding it within yourself. And for me, because it has happened in me, you guys, I'm a testimonial. It has happened in me. I used to be, if you're fearing right now, I used to be where you are. And with every single stage, there's fear. But if you have someone telling you, listen, all you have to do is sit down and talk, go through those questions. Those uncomfortable questions I take you through every Wednesday. You know, every Wednesday. Wednesdays, yeah. So for me, I just don't want to buy champagne alone. I don't drink champagne, but you know what I mean. I just want everyone to grow together. Let's do it together. You know, I don't want to leave another woman behind. Don't lag behind, girls. Come, let's go.
Oh, love that. Love that. Oh, isn't it a great time to be alive when like you're hearing, like for the younger women especially, I feel like we in our generation didn't hear a whole lot of those messages. I hope that what we are doing is like setting up younger people to have more like thriving collaborations and that whole, those pictures you be seeing, the graphics and the girls are holding hands and lifting each other up, quite literally they're actually lifting each other. Like they'll have a lot more of that, because that's the goal, yo. That is the
Can I say
goal.
something about what Prim spoke about? When you realize how little other people care about the things, your flaws, you'll stop caring about them, by the way. Because sometimes you are so hung up on your weight or your acne or your thinning hair or your, flat feet, that when you walk anywhere, you just feel like, oh God, everyone is staring at my face. Everyone is looking. But people don't give shit. They actually don't care. Everybody is focused on their own flaws. Everybody's focused on their own things. When you realize that people actually don't care as much as you think they care, you yourself will stop caring. There are people who have interacted with you and they don't even think about your body size. Them, they're just thinking about being unstoppable boss babes. But now imagine you staying there hung up about what you look like, that you don't have it in you to help the woman now become the unstoppable boss babe, or your natural hair. You can't now do that because you're so worried about, oh, what's my body size like? Are they going to, feel like I'm not qualified to do this? But yet they literally don't care about that thing, And like you're saying, you literally don't even recognize that it's a flaw until now you start comparing to someone else. Now compared to someone else, it's like, you are cute. But now you saw someone else who you think is actually cute, and now you're like, maybe I'm not that cute. But you are, kind of thing. So stay focused on the things about you that you want to amplify, because the ones that you feel nervous about, the ones that you feel conscious about, trust me, other people don't care as much as you think they care. They really don't.
True. As in, you're speaking the fact, the facts. So I want to speak to the mom and wife, ladies. Yeah, because you're both moms and wives.
The mother seat.
The mother seat. She called it the mother seat. So being, because both of you are like proper boss babes, and I think that like a big part of just risking, being brave and taking the risks that you have is becoming financially independent person. Yes, you have a partner who is also independent, but like you have just been intentional about I know that Claire talks about this a lot, about the fact that she's like, I can't even lie, there are moments in my life where I don't like to use the word broke, but where I have had less and I've thought, but if a rich man could vibe me like now, yeah, we have thought those things. But Claire is one of those people who always says, I've never thought that in my life. And I'm like, never even thought it. Okay. But becoming boss babes is such a testimony to the importance of being a financially independent partner, as in a person who can provide, who is a co-provider, who is you're independent. And I just want you guys to share a little bit about why taking risks is something that's important in becoming that, in moving towards becoming this independent person, independent mom, wife, force. Independent mom, wife, force.
Yeah, sure. For me, that's amazing that you've never thought that you would want, wow, are you some evolved being?
She's like,
yeah, even I'm the rich man, but I was like, still, I want to, as a rich man, you want to also marry a rich man. It's like, you don't want to, for me, honestly, when I was looking for a partner, I wanted to find a partner, definitely I wanted someone financially stable, because I wanted someone who's at least, we are here together, or you are over here, because also you don't want to be pulling someone along. And similarly, for the man that you meet, he probably also does not want to now be with somebody who's just like, my husband works, so I'm just staying at home. It's also unfair to the men that you're trying to attract. In fact, whenever people are like, I'm trying to attract a tall, handsome man who's 6 foot, what, and earns how much money, and it's like, if that man is here today, will he want you? Ask yourself, would he want you? Would he even look twice in your direction? Or you're just sitting there like, I want him. I'm shouting, yeah?
Shouting.
I hope you're hearing me loud and clear. So you should be, instead of focusing on finding the one, you should be focusing on being the one, okay? Who someone else would be like, wow, that's the kind of woman that I would like to be with, or that's the kind of woman that I want to be with. And for me, I always feel like my value as a woman is intrinsic. It's not about how much money I have. It's not about the way my beauty is, or my hair. But all those are definitely value adds. It's like, it's not the ultimate, but it's definitely helped. You're attracted to your husband. He's a good man, but it doesn't hurt that he's handsome, right? It doesn't hurt that he has money. It's like those are things that add to it. So for me, I always, and also because I was a single mom really young. I had my son when I was 19 years old. So when I went to university and I went and did my postgrad, when I came back, I was like, I actually don't have the luxury of sitting to wait for a man to find me. I didn't have the luxury. Maybe if I wasn't a mother, I would have waited and relaxed. But I was like, I need to make money for my son. I need to be financially stable. And there's some certain ginger and garlic and spice that you have as a woman in a relationship when you have your own money. Because your man is just like, he can't just play with you anyhow. You tell him, I can buy you if I want it. If I want it, I can buy you. And I just feel like there's something that it does to the dynamics of a relationship when you yourself are financially stable. When you're also a partner, God says you're supposed to be a partner to your partner. You're supposed to be helpers. How are you being a helper to your man when you're asking him for money for hair every day? There's nothing that you're bringing to the table. So for me, I feel like as a woman, even just from a safety, security point of view, so you marry a rich man, then tomorrow he dies and turns out he had 3 other wives. What are we doing now? Now we are having a show to be able to raise money for you and your kids. Is that, let's just you always have to think about it from you as a person. There's you and your man, but things happen. Things happen, by the way. And I'm always telling my husband, it's like, I love you, but also I know that anything can, tomorrow if Rihanna came here and said, I want your husband, me, I'd be like, take him. Now me, I'll just struggle with the kids because, anything can happen. So yeah, I'll be fine. And I'll be like, take me too. I'll marry you, Rihanna. I'll marry you. But yeah, as a woman, financial independence is absolutely necessary. And like we've said, the more you risk, the more you get. Honestly, the more you risk, the more you get. In fact, sometimes people ask me the things you post, you don't worry that brands are not going to want to work with you because, you've posted this or because you're not fitting the profile of being a mom or whatnot. But I'm like, that the brand who doesn't want to work with me, then I even don't want to work with them because I only want to work with brands that appreciate my authenticity. And there are many like that because they know that authenticity is what sells, It's like anyone can come here and say, buy this bottle of water, it's the best. But it takes someone else to just be like, the authentic thing is like, just rode my husband's person and I'm very thirsty and this bottle of water is what I need right now. That's the one that is going to sell, not the one of just one saying, wow, look at this water, it's so cute, Right. Yeah, so it's that authenticity that sells. And the more authentic you are, the easier it is for you to make money. And making money is good. Who doesn't like making money?
We've agreed we all want to make money. Yes.
I think for me it's I first of all want to show my daughter that she can also you know. I really want to set a pace for my daughter, that she doesn't have to rely on a man, like other than her dad, obviously. But I mean, we're not going to be here forever, and she might outlive us. And I'd really love for her to have a work ethic and not think, oh, I wish I had a man, but be like, okay, I'm just going to go. Yeah. And for me, love has never been about money. I am one of those very hopeless romantics. Hi, babe. Hi, babe. I'm a really hopeless romantic, you people. Me, I will be with my husband in the Miala.
In heaven, you guys are going to be together.
We're going in heaven together. If we go, wherever we go. Anyway, so I am one of those people that I make money. I'm very confident. I'm very confident. So me choosing a partner was not about money. It's important to have money, but I have it. So it was not a factor for me. I mean, it's great, but also even if he had money, like if he had $1 million and I make another $1 million, those are two.
Even better.
Do you know what I mean? Why would I be comfortable with one when I can have two? It's just, do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be comfortable with just one salary, even if it was good. I'd be like, okay, I can double that. That's always been me. Even if my husband was the richest man in the world, I would be like, okay, I also want to be the richest woman in the world. That's just me. And it's, for me, being with my husband is not money. It's just love. He's a very good, he's a very good man. Hi, babe.
Single people, hi. Singles, guys. It's fine, you're fine. It's fine.
He's a good man. He loves me. He treats me better than any other man has treated me.
Philip Muhire. Oh my God. God bless.
And do you know what? If you switched him out for a rich man who had all the money in the world and gave me everything I wanted, took me to the Maldives, I still don't think I would switch him out.
You're going to cry here.
Because what is Maldives? You people, I've actually spent a night in a 2,000 euro hotel in Europe, Castle Hotel, and it wasn't that great.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. But we went to Mombasa the other day and we had a blast, So, and that's why for me, being a boss babe in my marriage, it's not really a big deal. He brings money, I bring money. Who cares? Who brings what? We're living, our child is surviving, we're happy, for me, it's just not really a factor. As long as there's money, who cares who's bringing it? And who cares how much who's bringing, Yeah.
Okay.
So I would love to hear from you though, because you're like, you're a boss babe, but like you're a boss babe who like other people would be like, don't you feel you're going to intimidate a man who wants to come and marry you? Like now you're so beautiful and you have your own money. How does that conundrum work for you? Like, is that a factor that you think of in terms of like the person you meet now needs to be bringing something?
Love this question. So it's one of those things where I do get that. Not often though. I feel like I've really surrounded myself with people who are quite independent and open-minded and just, but I have gotten that vibe, especially from older people, of like, as if the older you're getting, the more money you're making, you're becoming, you're living by yourself, you're doing all these things for yourself. Actually, now, which man? And I'm just grateful that, I don't know, maybe I can't say I'm like super exposed like that, but I've had an education. I've been surrounded by really open-minded and strong people generally who have not made me feel like I need to reduce myself in order to find a partner. And that's not a partner I want. If you are the partner who is not comfortable with me being my fullest, most amazing-est, boss babe-est self, then I don't want you. Like, I'd rather be by myself. I really would rather. And because we're talking about this yesterday, that sometimes we get a little bit of negative male a couple of negative men in our, like, just commenting on our content and you know, just commenting about that, you know, like when we talked about like being single in your 30s, and it was like, you know, stop lying to the young girls, you know, that being single when you're 30 is good. That is just suffering. Look at you even. And I'm like, what? You know, and you need to understand that those things are all just projections. Those are projections based on I don't even know what, but be confident. Me, I know that, I don't know, I just don't want, if you are that person, no thank you. I do not want, and I think it goes back to also just like loving yourself enough to be like, why would I now settle for someone who needs me to be less? Yeah. That's not the type of love we should aspire to, like, period, right? Thank you for asking me a question. I also, yeah? But thank you for sharing so openly, ladies. And we really want to open the conversation to you guys. But you guys, our audience is smart. I don't know if they're going to show them in the video. Our audience is, guys, you're looking good. But yeah, we'd like to hear from you guys. And please, again, not a conference. Feel free. If you want to just like share something, you could be asking a question, or maybe you're just commenting, or maybe you want to tell us that we look cute. It's also fine. You can put up your hand and let us know. Should I count? No. Anybody want to? Okay, I see somebody over there. Can we give her a mic?
So my name is Sharifa Namsisi. I'm a marriage counselor, CBT and life coach. I'm also the PR manager for Educate an Orphan Uganda. We help keep orphans in school. And I also have a snacks business. I also partnered in a spa. I'm not showing off. I'm trying to get to their point. Yeah, and the reason I'm saying all this is because we all wear a lot of hats. The video I want to make next week is going to be late because you guys were like scratching me. It's about society forcing us to fit in. I personally have struggled to just even open up an Instagram account. And I moved with her because she's the reason I am standing here today. She's been the best of friends because I was doing counseling from home, you know, because I was a stay-at-home mom who was trying to bring something to the table, you know. So people would come home, I counsel, do it online, blah, blah. And then lockdown came, people couldn't come to me anymore. And I'm like, what do I do? She's like, are you crazy? Instagram, Facebook, what? And I'm like, no way. There is no way I'm going to go on Instagram and start. But fast forward, here we are. And when I started counseling, I think the first comment I got was, are you effing kidding me? A counselor with a tongue ring? A counselor with a tattoo? And then someone asked me, do you think you look posh with your shades? Do you think it's a thing? That was my first video. Like, I struggled to put out that video. The first videos on my YouTube had no face, just a voice. And she's like, we are tired of that. Eh? We need a face. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. She's like, you're going to do it. I get my energy and I do it. And the first comments I got, I nearly died, you guys. Wallahi, I nearly died. Like, I even think I got into a mini depression. You guys. Ladies, the four of you out there, Prim, I wanted to actually get this microphone and thank you. You've been so kind to me, and this is the second time I'm meeting you. First time I met you at the salon by mistake. And everything you tell me in my inbox, like you come to me and go like, chick. Anyway, I'll get, don't make me cry. What I was trying to talk about was trying to fit in. Yeah, going back to how people judge you because based on how you look, you know. Again, I'm not showing off, but ladies, I get clients, at least 2 to 3 clients in a day. With my tongue ring, with my tattoo, with my shades. Do not let anybody tell you how you should look so you could fit into their little box. So what if you're fat and you want to wear a short skirt? Who cares? You don't want to wear a short skirt? Please wear your gomasi. Like, you do what you want, but do not put that on me. This video will come out. There's a lot of anger in the video. But when you started talking about it, I felt like I should just tell the ladies who are struggling out there, just because you want to be a lawyer, you're not supposed to have a nose ring. How will they see me, you know, with a nose ring? And please, as long as you're not hurting anybody, do you. I love this about you ladies. Boss babe, Murugi, Fiona. I saw the comment they put out about you guys, and I actually reached out to Boss Babe and I told her, these are just cowards. Like you said, they're always projecting. So you're fat, See, you see, I mean, time is still going, as in no one has died. So I am learning this through putting myself out there. Actually, the more they abuse me, the more I get more shades. I'm like, it's not like they are not enough. I am getting more shades. The more they abuse me, I'm like, oh, so my tongue ring is bothering you? I was even thinking of getting a smiley. Like, guys, people come to me because they feel like I will not judge them. Because, I mean, I already look like a thug. So they'll be like, I'm going to go and talk to her about my side nigger. So those are my clients. If you feel like you cannot come to me because I look the way I look, then you are not my client. She taught me this because I used to struggle with that. What will they say about me? And she's like, whoever does not come to you is not your client. So this has taught me contentment. And I feel like this will be the lesson I'll give you today.
Yeah.
Contentment. Whatever is meant to come to you will come to you. Be it today, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And that takes me to the point you guys talked about collaboration over competition. If that Prado is not meant to be mine, it does not matter what I will do. Even if I cry, even if I abuse you, even if I die, it will not be mine because it was not written for me.
The VW.
The VW was written for me, right? So contentment is... Yeah, please, ladies. That, you see that collaboration, the reason we are all here today, that is powerful. That over anything in the world. Ladies, I wish I could drop the mic, but I can't. Yeah, but thank you for this, really. Thank you so much.
How do you be a boss babe and also remain soft? Because, you know, as ladies, if I become this very independent woman, I have everything, I may forget to allow people to do stuff for me or to take care of me or to love me. How do you keep the balance between the two?
That's a really good question. I keep telling Fiona that before I met him, I was just looking to date a father figure. Reason I wanted a father figure is not because I wanted an old man, but I felt like I wanted to be taken care of like a child, like a daughter. And one of the first signs, I remember him coming to visit, and he was using both hands to close the doors because he had brought me grab that day. He had shopped Buvera's. And that's when I was just like, Holy Spirit, this is the sign. Because I remember my father coming home with Buvera's. And for me, that's what I was looking for. Actually, it's going to help me talk about partnership. It's going to help me talk about help and support. For me, I needed support. I was looking for support. I was tired, you people, of carrying my family on my back. I feel like I wanted to bring my family and my burdens and lay them down on someone's feet. I mean, like, finally, help me. So that's one of the first things that you have to look out for in a partner. Support. In the kind of industry we are in, it's important that you find support. Be it in your business, you need a partner that believes in you. I mean, look at Philip. Guys, Philip is here. He's like, I have to support my wife. I have to attend. Look at Roman. Delia was coming. You know, there are so many men will be like, ebyo byabakazi. And, you know, like, it means that's for women. I won't show up. That's for women, you know. But for me, in the kind of industry that I'm in, I had to try on clothes for Bobuna for him to choose, you know. So when people are saying, did he see this outfit? It's because he said, go with this one. You get. It's because that man, when I'm vending clothes, he would drive me. So a number of you have actually met him, but I keep telling you, that's my Uber driver. He'll drive me around, I vend my clothes, and go home. And he's the kind of person that I'll tell about, we are struggling with this. You know, if it's ticket sales, if it's, you know, content creation, I'll show him messages. Someone said this and that about me. And I have never seen a more confident man in my life. And he's like, don't be bothered about those ones. They're just, those are their problems. Someone is abusing you online, that's their problem. So it's very imperative that you find someone that supports you, but it's also very important that you let yourself be supported. It's important, like if someone wants to help, relinquish the power. Like it didn't take anything away from you by being a boss babe. They mean that you're self-contained. You're like toilet and bathroom are inside the house and 2 bedrooms. No, it didn't mean that. It means that you are so comfortable in who you are that you can let other people help you and it won't take away your power. Yeah.
For me, honestly, it's something that I struggle with. I struggle with a lot. I struggle with it daily. I'm a, what do you call it? Choleric? It's collect. You're also a choleric, right? So I like to be in control. I like to be in charge. I like feeling like I can manage. I can take someone's help, but only if I need it. And most times I would like to prove that I don't need it. So for me, it's something that's been an uphill battle, definitely. But I would say first, I'm glad that my partner is someone who, he was attracted to me that way, the way that I was. Even though I wasn't famous when he met me, he was attracted to that part of me. And he's also confident, but men tend to be like a more quiet kind of confidence, I guess. It's just like the kind of confidence which is not shouting. They are not clear. Clear is yelling everywhere, you know. Us, we are just shouting. We are shouting everywhere. But the man is just like, he's kept quiet, but you know that his word will be the final word or something like that. So for me, I've been watching a lot of videos on feminine energy. I really try. On femininity, I really try. And when I get home, I try to leave my content at the door. And now I'm like, I'm a wife and I can be calm and I can be relaxed. And there's actual, I feel power. You can actually be more powerful in that gentleness towards your partner than even this just like shouting and trying to assert yourself. There are times when now, even if it's something which is like I disagree. When I first got married, I would disagree about everything. Now, even if I disagree, I'm just like, but is it a must? Is it a must, I say? You know, is it a must that I, be like, actually, that's not correct. It's actually like this. It's not a must. So sometimes I actually have to say it out loud to myself that, Joanne, relax. Murugi, relax. Not everything is a fight. Not everything is asserting yourself. But to be honest, it's an everyday battle. It's still an everyday battle for me.
I struggle as well. I don't struggle as much now because I realize that it's actually every now and then I like go home and it's all too much for me. And that's when I go and talk to my husband and, he just hugs you and stuff and you just feel better. And all you need is that support, I'm also like her. I feel everyone else is too slow. If I think of a business idea, I'll have a name, I'll have a website, I'll have everything by tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? I have done everything I need to do by myself. I've taught myself how to go from A to Z all within me, but it's too much. Because within A, there's A squared, AB plus what, minus theta, what not. Do you understand? So I am learning. I don't know how hard I don't know, babe, how am I doing? I leave you out of it. I'm trying to learn to actually, even my sister keeps telling me, like, ask for help, and I find I don't like burdening people. Yeah, I just feel like if I ask Fiona, would you help me hold this mic? I feel like I'm burdening her, like her hands are for other things. So I'm probably going to try to hold it and try to hold the bottle and try to hold everything. And obviously I can't do it, which breaks me, but I don't realize it until someone actually says, my sister or my husband, even my mom sometimes, like, can't breathe. Calm down. And I don't realize it. So I do struggle. Being a boss babe doesn't mean you're being disrespectful. You're just, I like to say at work, I'm a boss babe. At home, I try to be a wife. There's a difference. Yeah. And I try to submit to my husband's authority at home.
Does that wink mean it's real or like are these jokes? Can I just say
okay, I'm moving.
that for me it's really helpful, like from a single standpoint, to hear like the different things that you guys are sharing, because like for me now, I'm in that place of been a couple of heartbreaks here and there, and so I feel very just like maybe give me a little bit of distance. Maybe no, don't do nice things for me. Like I'm in that space of trying to relearn how to be taken care of. So it's very helpful to hear these things. I mean, at least for me, and I know like wherever you are in your life, it's not just you. There's somebody else that's in something similar. So I know that it's also helped another Kemi out there to feel, I think to feel seen, first of all, to know that even a woman that's married can struggle with allowing that being taken care of, and to know that it's okay to just like, rest. But yeah, guys, the floor is still open. Oh yeah, someone over there.
I really like what you said about us helping each other, collaboration, because I'm a strong believer in a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. If anything, they illuminate brighter, you know? I'm a strong believer in that. But maybe consider this, what, a trigger response or something? The biggest heartbreak I have had has been by girls. A group of sisters that I handpicked, and I know these are my sisters, and they go just fuck up so bad, for lack of a better word. So as you want to collaborate with girls, Prim said something about you tell your friend, oh, I want to do this as a business idea, and then she's doing it. Have you dealt with that? How do you protect yourself from that? How do you handle that? Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes. Who wants to go first?
So, before we go any further, go to therapy. Friends, go to therapy. And I feel like when you work on yourself, if we all work on ourselves, it's going to be a spiral effect. When you're kinder, you'll find another person also working on themselves and they're kinder. And one day the world will probably be full of kindness. Maybe we're asking for too much. But yeah, get Sharifa's number and go to therapy. But one of the things that I've learned is, anyway, I'm advising from a point where I am right now. I'm at a point of being zen. I've been going to therapy, so most times I feel nothing for so many things. The praise, I feel nothing. The insults, I feel nothing. I am like this chair, I feel nothing. But I feel like I work towards getting to that place. Okay? So most times when you meet, I'm such a girl's girl. I love female friendships. My God, I would not be here if it was not for my female friends, right? Because I have to explain to the guy friends what I exactly do. And it's like, you're just a slay queen. And I'm just like, no, it's something. But my female friends, I'm such a girl's girl. But I can't say that there's not been some heartbreaks here and there. There's not been some who don't understand what you do. And they don't ask. They just go and discuss it like, oh, she just posts her boobs on the gram. Nothing much, you know? So I've also had such friends. But most times, I feel like you just let go. You just forgive them and let go and feel nothing. I actually hope that we all get to a place where we are unfazed by so many things. And for me, I feel like so many of these things come with maturity. We've talked about our 30s. I am telling you, those are the best years of your life. When you're in your 20s, lots of things shake you. You're like, you're not a ship on water. You're like a small boat. But when you get to your 30s, lots of things, create insight. And it's very important that you could come to me for advice, right? But don't listen to my advice. I have a group of friends. They're not here. The book club ladies. And I remember one time I kept asking them a lot, should I talk about this? And each of them would have a very different... And that's when I realized that I use these people to gauge my audience and how my audience will receive this. Okay? So one of them once sent me a WhatsApp, a direct DM. She came from the group and told me, Prim, we will never, ever do what you do. When you ask us, we reply as an audience. But we reply as an audience that is not in the limelight like you. So, and when they would tell me something, I wouldn't actually talk about it. When they would give me negative feedback, I would feel so bad. I feel like this thing, I really want to talk about it. But then I would never talk about it because my friends think it's not a good idea. And that day, Penny told me that we are not you, we'll never be you, we'll never do what you do. She freed me. She didn't know this, but she freed me. So I realized that your friends will give you certain advice because you asked for it. And by the way, people, the day you ask someone for their advice, if they tell you something that you don't want to hear, you asked for it. You asked for it. So you say, thank you so much for your opinion, which I asked for. And then, you pick up your tears and you go, okay? So it doesn't mean that each time you ask for advice from friends, you should take it. If you have to, consult. Then you pick out something like you gauge and you're like, okay, I think I can use this from so-and-so, I can use this from so-and-so, But I don't know if you've watched our video on friendships, the heartbreak of friendships. It's also part of growth. Losing friends is part of growth, women. it's part of the journey. And the beauty is some of these go away at a certain phase, and then some of them go and work on themselves. You work on yourself, and you meet again, and it's magical. You become friends again. So all hope is not lost. But also, one of the things we've not talked about today is communication. Communication. There are times we'll be very angry at someone for saying something, and if you ever revisit it and tell them, I don't appreciate what you said, you realize that they meant something very different. So lots of relationships and friendships would not be broken if we communicate. If we talk about things, and maybe in your 20s, you're afraid of what people think of you when you say things or think, they'll call you emotional and whatnot. But I feel like when you get to your 30s, you're older, there's not much you can lose when you ask, what did you mean by that? What do you mean by this? But all that guaranteed, honestly, there'll be some heartbreaks. There'll be some heartbreaks in friendships, and it's very sad to see someone that was once close to you seated dozens in a corner like you're strangers. It's really heartbreaking, but it also means that they served their purpose in your life for a certain time, and that purpose came to an end. Yeah, you go to therapy and make peace with it.
I personally have suffered great heartbreak at the hands of friends before. There's one particular friend who we were really close. We literally grew up together. We were really close. But when I became famous, so to speak, our friendship actually ended because she was not able to reconcile this person who the world sees with who she thought that she knew as a friend, and it was difficult for her to now feel what she would explain is feel like she has to share me with the world when actually it used to be just me and her. So she would get very upset. For example, if we go places and people come up to us, like we've gone for dinner and someone comes up and is like, "Oh, Murugi," she would feel very upset because she's like, "This is our space. Why are these people coming into our space?" And I would try to explain to her that it's my job now, and it's my life, and these are people who I share my stories with. But to her, she just never was able to understand, and it became really strained, and our friendship actually ended. There are friends who I've lost because of things that I've posted online, who are just like, I think that was really inappropriate, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, kind of thing. But one thing that I've learned beyond what Prim has said is that, one, it is part of life, and then two, you learn to segment people appropriately. Not everyone who you know is your friend, and not everyone who you know as a friend is someone who you should come and share your life story with. Like, oh, by the way, my husband said this last night. You start learning that there are some who you tell the deep things, and there are others who are just work colleagues, and there are others who are acquaintances, and there are others who are just for when you want to go out drinking, and that they are not all in the same bucket. Because, women, sometimes we are so... everybody's like, oh, this is my bestie, this is my bestie. You can't have 70 besties, please. 70 people cannot be your bestie. So learn how to appropriately segment what people are, and be careful about what parts of your life you share with who, because not everybody is actually deserving of all the things that you have to share. And as you level up, the top, it's lonely at the top. That's what they say. As you level up, definitely there are some people who will be jealous. There'll be people who will not. They'll look at you like, so now you think you're better than us, and you're like, I didn't say that. You said that. So do you think I'm better than you? Because you're the one who has said it, And it happens, and you notice that some people fall away, but as they fall away, others come into their place. It allows for you to be able to form even better friendships. And also you start to... Me, when I lose a friend or someone turns out to be not what I thought they were, I ask myself, what about me attracted a person like that? So me, I start doing the work of, okay, is there a way that I speak to people or approach people or, interact with people that makes someone like this think they can be friends with me or, want to mess up my life or my business? So now you become very, very choosy and very careful. And that's the great thing about being an adult. I can literally choose today to not ever speak to you again or not ever be your friend. And I can choose tomorrow that actually I would love to do business with you, and let's, talk about, how to take things forward. You can actually choose. We are not victims. We're not victims as an adult. Everything that is in your life now it's you choosing. If you're unhappy about your weight, it's because you keep eating the bad food. If you're unhappy about your skin, what are you doing about it? Now we are choosing. We are no longer victims. We are choosing. Yeah.
I wouldn't. So I stopped giving people that kind of power over me. Someone can copy you, but someone can never be me. Do you know what I mean? So even if I come and tell you, how many things have I told you guys that I shouldn't tell you on the internet, that I'm going to do this and I end up not doing it, and then you find someone else is doing it, but they'll never do it the way I do it. So do you know what I mean? So there are things I released myself from. People are going to copy you, and so I don't. And it's a good idea. You should actually take some kind of, like, yeah, it's nice, it's flattering. And people are going to copy, and I know people are going to copy, even your good friends. But yeah, just be like, okay, I decided I wanted to create a bottling company. I shared it with Murugi, and Joanne decided she has a bottling company. Oh, good for her. That's okay. It might pinch a bit that she didn't tell me, but personally, I wouldn't go there. Bitch. I personally wouldn't. I really don't care that much. There are things I released myself from caring about, because people are going to be people, and sometimes it's nothing to do with you. Most times, it's nothing to do with you. Also, I have a great group of friends. I don't worry about them personally. They're friends I have made in the last 3 years. Before that, I knew people and stuff, but because of all the things I've been through before, a lot of my friends are no longer exactly how we were friends, as the same way. But I've made an amazing group of friends that I'm not threatened by at all. So I would say just release yourself from that. You're not a victim, as she said. I loved that. You're not a victim. Someone can only hurt you the way you allow them to hurt you. So if you don't give anyone that kind of power, yes, it's going to hurt, but only you decide how much it hurts. Yeah.
Thank you, ladies. You are really, you're speaking the word. But I would only say one thing to that, which is that when something like that happens, it's going to pain you, it's going to break your heart. Take time to feel what you need to feel, because feelings they just demand to be felt. What can you do? Feel what you need to feel, and then work on the forgiveness, because that thing that they say that the forgiveness is more for you than it is for the other person. So feel what you need to feel, and then just release it, because man, there's just other good things. There's other good things. Like, I didn't know I would make such good friends at this point in my life. I've met some lifelong friends. So people will break your heart. I think it's just life, but there's always something like on the other side of that stuff. And maybe they were just supposed to be there for that season. You guys, seasons come and go, they change. You feel the pain, and then we move on.
I wanted to add something very small. So the way I practice trying not to care too much about what other people do is by reminding myself that most of this time people do, it's not about you. Do you get what I mean? Because Murugi deserves a company too, doesn't she? So sometimes when someone, like, let's say, maybe 2 years back and stuff, I had a couple of my friends had a thing and I wasn't invited. And it pinched. It really did. Where are they? They're there. They're here. They're there.
Murugi's in shock.
So that day, I remember feeling, I remember feeling that, people don't like me, they don't like me. And this is feelings, because I've always been so bold, people don't always take to me naturally. So it's always been an insecurity for me that people don't naturally kind of come and sit next to Claire. They'd rather go with Prim, and they'd rather go with Fiona. That's because they seem... maybe they're more palatable. For me, I'm going to come and tell you, look, I find your conversation boring, and I'm going to say it, and I'm just like that, and I've accepted myself this side of life. But before, I didn't understand why people don't like me, and I felt like they didn't. So when I found my friends who had gone for a little, I don't even remember what it was, I felt the pinch. But then I remember I started to... I don't even think they remember. You have no idea. I forgive you. So, so I was like, no, people don't like me. Maybe it's because I talk too much. Maybe it's because Nesawo. Maybe they think I have kajanja. But it's actually really not it. My friends love me, I know, because they tell me all the time. So I just constantly And I say this a lot in our YouTube channel, that I try to remind myself, catch yourself, you know? Claire did da, 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 but it's really not about me. Try to understand what Claire did in Claire's shoes, not in your own. And that will help you kind of, you know, release. Like even the relationship my sister and I have as well. It's, yeah, of course, we piss each other off all the time, you know? And then she comes in and she tells me, I'm so tired at the school and I'm so tired, boss babe and stuff. So I kind of have to stop and think, yes, she's actually really doing a lot of work. So I understand, you know, and her as well. So that's how your relationships are you're going to stop taking things so personally by reminding yourself that this is not about me. Feel sorry for that person in whatever they've done, even if it's hurt you. And I feel that's more a better way to approach it than making yourself, like everyone got hurt. Jesus was killed. He's the most perfect person on this earth. We'll all get hurt by people that we love, the people that love us. We are no better, you know. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen, so I'm already coming at it from a point of it's going to happen. When it does, what do we do? Yeah. So it's not shocking when I find my friends have created plot and they have not called me. No, shame. It would be shocking, right, at this point, yes. But you know what I mean? If someone says something I don't like, my friend Sarah and I are always arguing. We have very different ideas on almost everything, you know, but, you know, we respect each other. And I'm like, okay, her background is different from mine. My experience is different from hers. We agree to disagree. I don't get hurt by the things she says. She doesn't get hurt by the things I say. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Okay.
Move on? Move on? Therapy, Sharifa. Yeah. I'd just say therapy. It's just like a marriage doesn't work out, you move on. A friendship doesn't work out, you move on. You just move on. Try. Yeah, try to protect yourself as much as possible. If it's not serving you, leave it. You know, only you know the situation fully. So I can't say leave it or don't leave it or fight for it because you know fully. You make the assessment and decide. If you want to fight for it, fight for it. If you don't, move on. Yeah. That's all I had to say.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ladies. And I think we're going to... Ooh, okay. All right, Sarah. I see you. Someone give Sarah a mic.
My name is Sarah. I'm Claire's friend. And I just had a few questions that I wanted to ask. First of all, I want to thank you so much for being so bold and brave and doing this. I'm really inspired. Knowing Claire, I've been so inspired by her. I think one statement that stands out, and I think I had it come out today, was she once told me that I'm really scared about doing this, but I never make decisions based on fear. And it just kind of let me thinking, okay, yeah, I'm afraid, but don't let fear be the reason why I decide to do something or not. So yeah, I think, thank you very much. My questions are two, and these are personal to you ladies. How, in the space that you've created for yourselves and the kind of people that you've created an audience that loves you and how you feel about it, and you're yourself and you're bold and you are unapologetic about who you are. Is there room to change and evolve? Like, I mean, we're growing up and there are some things that I believed 5 years ago that I don't hold so tightly to anymore. And especially when you have an audience that is following you and believes in you for the things that you've shared with them, is there space for you to change your mind? Is there a chance for you to say, yeah, I don't feel this way anymore? And is there a certain level of fear that maybe some of my people will abandon me if I don't feel the same way about things as I did before? That's the first question. The second one is how, in kind of creating a space for yourself where, you know, you have people who affirm you, who allow you to be who you are, and, you know, all these different wonderful things, and allow people, you know, kind of let go of people who are not all that. How do you avoid creating echo chambers, in the sense that you only have people who are like yes men around you who tell you things that you want to hear, and never challenge you to kind of go beyond the things that you believe in and try and be different or better. I mean, it's all for personal growth, and positive affirmation is great, but where's the room for you to actually push yourself out? And yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. So just like in the interest of time, I'm going to direct the first one, the one about evolution, to Murugi, because she has been in the space that we occupy a lot longer. So let's start there.
Okay. There is space for evolution, but like society gives you just a little bit. But you as a person really just you can push those bounds. So if you've been following me long enough, then you know I used to be Yummy Mommy, and I changed to Murugi Munyi about a year. Has it been a year and a half or something like that? And that's because when I first started creating content, a lot of my content was about motherhood, was about marriage, was very family oriented. But after I had my children, I felt like a lot of the things that I was posting was not just about me being a mom. It was about me being a whole woman. And Murugi Munyi is my name. It's just who I am. And I wanted people to view me through the lens of just who I am, not me just as a mom, because whether or not you thought I was a mom, as soon as you've come to my page, you have the mom glasses on, and now you're seeing, oh, she's posted this picture as a mom, or she's doing this video as a mom. Like, it's not like me as a person. So I decided to evolve, and honestly, it was difficult for my audience to accept. I would say like 50% of people were like, oh, that's great, good for you, you're moving. But others were like, what? But we really love that brand, we really love, the name Yummy Mommy, we really like why are you changing? And even till today, there's still lots of people who just refuse that I am no longer Yummy Mommy and that I am Murugi Munyi. But the reality is that life is evolving and people change. And there have been times like now where I have trended in Kenya because I have said something which is the opposite of something I have said before. Like, there's this one brand that makes like soaps and lotions. And when I first tried their products, I posted about how much I really didn't like them. But at the time I posted, I was pregnant. And when you're pregnant, first, are you even human? Because you're going through a lot, And I was like, yuck, I really hate these products. And what? I don't even understand why anyone uses them. Then now it's like 4 years later. And I was like, I went to this hotel and I found those products. And I didn't even remember what I had said about them. And I was like, wow, these products are actually really nice and they smell good. And now, since then, I have more of an appreciation of like organic, natural products. Back then, I didn't. I was just wondering, like figuring out how to remove this baby from my stomach. So now, later on, when I posted that, I don't know how this one human being had a screenshot of what I had posted 4 years ago. People are crazy out here. And it was like, oh my God, you see, Murugi, these influencers, they're such liars. Before she said they're horrible, now she's being paid. And I was like, I'm not even being paid. I literally was not even being paid. But that thing just made me realize how much people hold on to what we say as content creators or as influencers. And by the way, an influencer is not just someone who has lots of followers. Every one of you is an influencer. There's someone you influence. Even if it's a small girl in your estate or someone who you meet at church who looks at you like, wow, I really like her hair. You're an influencer as well. So I realized that day that it can be challenging, but me personally, I always say I reserve the right to change my mind anytime I want. Even if tomorrow I come and I tell you guys, by the way, I divorced Zach yesterday and I've got a new husband, I expect you all we are now following this direction. We love this new guy. He's our new, yeah, because that's just the reality of life. And I feel like as content creators, sometimes we are being held to some kind of weird, unrealistic standard that people just cannot, measure up to. And it's sometimes it's just difficult. But me, I try not to think about it like that. The only way I can remain my authentic self is by changing when I want to. And what are these monkeys? Is this monkeys? Oh, okay, sorry. I just keep hearing them in my ear. I'm like, I feel like they're clapping for me. Thanks, guys. The only way I can remain my authentic self is by saying the things that I want to say. And no one can catch you in a lie if you're not lying. Back then, I was telling the truth when I liked those products. Now or when I didn't like them. Now I'm telling the truth when I like them. And no one can say I was lying because I wasn't. I didn't like them then, and now I like them. It's the same way we're saying with Prim about how as plus-size women, we are sometimes, me personally, I'm always talking about losing weight, but I've been losing weight for 10 years, but yet the weight is still here. As we are speaking, it's still here. And every single time I'm always talking about it, sometimes I ask myself, so now when you lose the weight, what will your brand be? you know, kind of thing. So it's like maybe I self-sabotage my own weight loss journey because so many women follow me, because I inspire them to be confident and plus size. But now when I lose weight, what am I going to be? But the day that I do show up thin, I expect everybody to just still, and love me just the same. Because, I mean, that's how our lives as women are, you know? And like right now, Fiona, I feel like when people come to your channel, for example, I mean, to you guys' channel, it's like, wow, you're showing us that you can be single in your 30s and be happy. But if you get married tomorrow, now Apo going to be like, oh, no, you can't be married, but all of us, we were following you because
I expect you to
you
celebrate.
are single. I mean, that's just, it's an unrealistic standard. So I personally just choose to absolve myself of those expectations that other people have of me. And I would encourage all of you to do the same. Even if it's your parents' expectations, your siblings, your peers, it's like you be who you want to be and make no apologies for that.
Amen. And let me direct the yes men question to Prim.
I feel like most times, I think when we say that we attract who we are being a bit tough, but sometimes it's the truth. So are you that person? Are you always saying, yes, by the way, yes, you're right, yes, yes, yes? So I feel like most times when we are going into partnerships, I'll just give an example, this partnership we have here. We've had people on our channel telling us things like, oh, why don't you ever let Prim host? It's just that we've understood the dynamics. Prim does not like moderating. Prim prefers to just sit on the side and make jokes. We've understood that, for example, Fiona is the organized person. Claire is the business mind, you know? So I think have you realized lately that men are marrying strategic? They look into your background. Which family am I marrying into? Are we, okay, yes, I have some money, but are we going to be rich very soon? Men are starting to be strategic. Imagine, on top of all the hard work we have to do to work hard for nice things, we also now have to work hard to get marriages. But anyway, so even you have to be strategic. You have to be, I think it's about being strategic in your friendships, in your partnerships. You're asking yourself, what am I inadequate in? And that, you know, Murugi can bring up. What am I not good at that Fiona can add to us? You get? Because honestly, when you look at it, these ladies do so much. And the only thing I bring to myself is I bring to this platform is an iPhone and jokes. And for them, they are busy, like with this event, they're busy running around. Over Prim, add these names to over what group, over add them to what spreadsheets. I don't even know those things. I was telling them, guys, I said using a computer yesterday. Do these things. So you just have to be very strategic in your friendships. It doesn't mean that you're a user. It doesn't mean that you're exploitative. It just means that you want to prosper in life. So create a team that serves you like that serves you that way. And honestly, if you find yourself surrounded by people who say yes men, it means that you need to graduate from that school and now go on to the ones who tell you the hard things that you don't want to hear. And when they say the things you don't want to hear, well, you need to work on whatever, you know, they're suggesting. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I think those were excellent answers. You're going to be the real last, Daisy. Go ahead.
Mine is directed to Joanne. Failing on a public platform. Like, you have shown your children, there's so many positive comments, but then there are the negative comments as well. How do you stop yourself from allowing the negative comments to be louder than the positive that you have told yourself about yourself, your family, your husband, your marriage?
Okay, that's a really good question. I would say it's a muscle. It's a muscle that you exercise from the day that you start becoming famous, so to speak, and every day you're working on it. When I first started being a content creator, those negative comments would get to me. They would really get to me. I could go online on like a bad day. Maybe it's like your period. You know, already when you're on your period, you're surviving on a thread. Literally your husband could just like open his eyes and he's not kissed you immediately, you're crying. You know, it's like when you're on your period, everything is just, you know. And I would go online and I see one horrible comment and I would just start crying and I'm just upset. I'm telling my husband, but why doesn't this person like me? You've forgotten that 99 people said that you look amazing, but one person said, I don't know if that color suits you. And that's the one that you focus on. And I don't know why we do that I don't know if it's human beings or mostly women, but you will focus on that one, the one negative everyone, when in reality, 90% or 99% actually really loved you. So right now, what I do is that I just ignore it, because in reality, it's not as many as the amazing ones. If there are 300,000 who are following me, you're a fan, first of all. That's why you're following me. Why? How did you find yourself on the video to come and hate on me if you did not actually like me, you know? And even those people who are hating on you guys, they are fans. They just don't know that they are fans, but actually they are fans. Honestly, yeah. And I try to, like she said, when somebody says something, I feel like I don't take it personally. I'm like, that definitely is about them. If someone can come to my page and be like, God, your children are so ugly, I'm like, oh, first of all, I know that my children are not ugly. So first of all, it's a lie. You're lying. And then secondly, I'm like, how difficult must this person's life be for them to come and insult a child they don't know online? And I start thinking like they must be going through a lot. Sometimes I even just say a silent prayer, like, God, whatever this person is going through that makes them this hateful a person, I just hope that they're okay. And I was even telling Prim yesterday that you find, for example, as a plus size woman online, you'll be fat shamed a lot. But sometimes you'll find that the people who are fat shaming you are fat themselves. They themselves are fat, okay? But the reason why they are so triggered is because they are projecting. They're just like, but how can you just be okay and confident and you look like me? You know, they don't understand what is it about you that makes you feel like you can just, you know, exist and not make apologies for the way that you look. And I'm just like, me understanding that it's more about them than it is about me makes it easier for me not to take it personally. In fact, most times I will just block. I block people all the time. I'll just block them. Or if I have time and I'm feeling, you know, energetic, I might respond, you know, with a little clap back here and there, never hurt anyone. But most times I'll just ignore or I will just block them and I keep it moving. Because in reality, negative comments are everywhere. Even if you're not online, they will always be. Even if you just work in an office, there'll be that person who's just smiling like, wow, that's the outfit you chose today. Wow, interesting. And you're just feeling, okay, confident, yeah? And you're like, seriously, you know, and the other people will give you underhanded comments wherever you go. And it's like, they'll come and tell you, wow, they won't tell you look nice, just like, hey, wow, you're so confident. Me, if I look like you, I don't think I would be confident. It's like, why can't you just say, you look nice? Why does it have to be about my confidence? Why does it have to be, you know? And there are people who are like that all the time, but me, I just ignore it. I just ignore it and I keep moving. And I pray for that person that they will be able to build that confidence that they so badly desire so that they don't have to project their negativities on anyone else. But it is tough sometimes. Sometimes you go online and you'll just see the wrong comment at the wrong time and you just start feeling like, is it worth it? Like, why am I putting my life out there for people to just come and insult me? But then you think of the hundreds of thousands who you're actually helping. Someone who comes to me and says, oh, I never thought I could wear a crop top, but after coming to your page, now I'm wearing a crop top. And I'm like, now imagine I would deny that person that confidence just because of this one negative comment that someone left. Yeah, no, not gonna be me.
Oh, love that. Love that. Claire, I feel, do you want to add something? Okay. Okay, guys. So I think I think it's a wrap. And thank you guys also for just like engaging with us. We love that because we don't get the opportunity to do that when we are, you know, just on your screens. So we love that you're able to talk to us like this. It's such a blast. So we are wrapping up this part of things. And we first of all want to give a big shout out to our primary sponsors, who are first of all the Yard, this lovely space that we are in.
The Yard.
A very, very big shout out to the Yard. Fantastic people. Listen. Anyway, could talk about it all day. And then, of course, the wonderful Wisteria. Sylvia, I see you. Hello, please. Yes, she's up there in orange. That fantastic lady has supported us like we can't get into it, but she's really believed in what we are doing. Sky's Hotel, which has hosted us and our wonderful guests, so shout out to those guys even though they're not here. Those are our primary sponsors, but we have a couple of anonymous people that just decided, I want to buy a ticket for someone. Some of the tickets you guys won were just anonymous. There were anonymous people who said, I don't want you to mention my name, but I have bought tickets. Shout out to you individuals, you know yourselves. And then there's so many small businesses that contributed and bought tickets. It's a whole list, but I'm going to at least mention each of them. Okay. Okay. All right. She has reminded me that look at the stage we are sitting on. Look at these flowers. The incomparable 1921 did this at no cost. So please clap, because now how are we going to shine without these flowers? How are we going to do it? So shout out to 1921. All right, so there's a couple of people. Kentaro Handmade Organics, Organic Magic. We have, if I forget some, I'm going to ask these guys to also say them. I know that Sapphire UK is the name. Sapphire UK shoppers also contributed. Go Fresh, Talia Froze, Clutched, the home of handbags. I feel like I may have forgotten a couple. There's also Candy Desserts. There is Me Time by Sheens. There's so many small businesses that really came together to get that. There's a goodie bag, guys. It's a good bag. You're going to such nice things in there from the so many businesses. And if I have forgotten someone, you guys, please mention them. But we really appreciate your support. This is our first thing, and literally every little thing counts. So we really appreciate all of the things that your businesses have done, and we appreciate each and every one of you for tapping the link